Okay, so your Outlook email merge is going to look very much like the other email merges that you've been doing this semester, other than you'll be using your Outlook contacts instead of Excel or Access for your list of people. So a couple of things I want to mention before that. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that your Outlook account is set up, that you've added all your contacts. And I noticed that when I added contacts here initially, if we click on new contact, it just asks for the full name over here. So since we're going to be either adding people's first names, Dear John or Dear Sally, or if you want to say Dear Mrs. Smith or Dear Mr. Smith, so a couple things that we need to do here first. So in the show group here, I'm going to click on all fields. And then in this pull down here, I'm just going to choose frequently used fields. So if I come down here, I can see the first name here field. So if you're going to do a mail merge with first names, you're going to want to make sure that you open this up and you put first names. And for the purposes of our email that you're going to send out for this class, you can use that field. Or you can choose maybe to come down and use, there's a nickname field down here. Let me see if I can scroll down a little bit. Move this over. Okay, not on this screen. Let's click over here. Here's one of these called name fields. So here it's the same thing, the first name, full name, initials, but here's a nickname field. So if you wanted to use the nickname field when you're sending out your mail merge, and in here you might put Mrs. Smith, Mr. Smith, things like that. So depending on how you're going to do that, you just want to make sure that you take that extra step when you're adding your contacts, because again, these fields are not default fields when you add contacts into your Outlook. So I'm just going to close the new contact window, and I'm not going to quit out of my Outlook. I'm going to keep that open. So here is my letter that I created in Word. So you will create your letter first in Word, not in Outlook. And I am just going to merge in the first name. So I have Dear space, and then right where my cursor is flashing, that's where I'll insert the merge field. So again, just much like your other mail merges, we're going to choose the Mailings tab, Start Mail Merge. We can use the wizard here. We're going to choose Email Message. Then we'll come down and to Start Our Document. And we'll come back up here and it says to use the current document. That's what we want to do. So next is to select our recipients. And then we'll come up here and we'll say that we want to select them from our Outlook contacts. Sorry, let me move this over here a little bit. Shoot. There we go. Okay. So we want to select them from our Outlook contacts, and we'll choose a contacts folder. And for some reason my deleted folder is showing, but I'm just going to choose the contacts folder that I know is correct, and I'll say OK. And here are my contacts. Here are some of my students, and at the top I actually inserted a couple of different email accounts that I use for practice. So that might be a good idea. Maybe you want to add your friends, or if you have a couple different accounts that you can use to practice your merging. So here are the people that I wanted to go to. These are all me, and these are just different email addresses that I have. And I'll say OK. And then we'll come down here and it says to write your email message, which I did already. And now I want to add my merge field. So my cursor is still flashing up here, and I'm going to come to the right and insert fields, click insert, and choose first name. And now I can come back down to the bottom right and preview. So you can see the first one is filled in, and then up here at the top right, it says how many recipients, and We're at the end of the list, but we can scroll through and we can see that each one of these is a different first name. I did that on purpose so we can see that they're going to all the different people. And then we'll say complete the merge down here at the bottom right and electronic mail. So you click send. Here is where you can add your subject line. So maybe you are administrative assistant candidate. And you're going to send it to all, which doesn't mean that it's going to go to all your contacts. It's going to go to all the records that you selected. So those, in this case, it would be the 3 records that I selected, and we'll choose OK. And it's kind of weird. We don't, doesn't open up your Outlook or anything, but now I'm going to come down to my Outlook and go to Mail. And in my sent box here, and you can see I've done this a couple times, and here is the most recent time that I did it. So you can go to your sent box and see, and hopefully you're doing a test, and you can go and check those accounts too to make sure that those emails came through.